Welcome everybody. What fabulous weather we have for what is an extremely special day for our town. I'm Councilor Paul Gibbon and I head tourism for Wallingford Town Council. My thanks go out to all who have been involved with putting this special weekend together. Three important people for me to introduce you to today, here to celebrate our Agatha Christie unveiling. Stand behind me. What's that behind me? Firstly, Councilor Steve Beatty. Steve has spearheaded this wonderful statue and murder mystery weekend in Wallingford. Thanks, Steve. Secondly, our amazing figurative sculptor, Ben Twiston-Davies. Bit of a legend, who has delivered something very, very special for everyone to enjoy. Honestly, it's fantastic. And finally, a great honour to have Agatha Christie's grandson, Mathew Prichard, to unveil her statue. We're extremely grateful for you coming today. On that note, I will pass you to Steve, who will say a few words. Thank you.
Hi, welcome everybody. I'm Councilor Steve Beatty and I welcome you to the unveiling of the Agatha Christie statue and by association Wallingford's first murder mystery weekend. I hope you'll have the opportunity to enjoy some of the great events the local organisations, bars and restaurants are hosted over the weekend, and of course our new permanent addition to the town. Using Agatha's own words, courage is the resolution to face the unforeseen. Taking on this council project 5 years ago has presented many challenges to overcome and resolve. Today we have the resolution of that hard work. Never do anything yourselves that others can do for you. Something that resonated with me from Agatha's The Labours of Hercules. May I take the opportunity to thank Councilor Paul Gibbon for his hard work on this project. His counsel and friendship have been invaluable. Thank you, Paul. Our sculptor Ben Twiston-Davies has produced a beautiful work of art which I hope will be enjoyed and will inspire for many years to come. It's been a pleasure working with him on this project. I'd like to personally offer him on the town's behalf a heartfelt thank you for the work he has done. Thank you, Ben. George Orwell once wrote, "Beauty is meaningless until it is shared." Today Wallingford shares its appreciation of its most famous resident with the world. I hope our monument to imagination is a worthy tribute to an amazing lady and a contribution to the world. And thank you all for coming today. Thank you.
Good afternoon. First, my thank yous to everyone in Wallingford who's made this statue happen. In particular, the indomitably public-spirited Councilor Beatty. Thank you for giving me this wonderful job. You've been the perfect clients. To everyone who's helped me to make it, Marley, the Castle, Fine Arts and South Links Foundries for the bronze casting, Simon Langsdale for the lovely letter cutting, to my beautiful family for everything, and to Mathew, I think one of Agatha's dearest loved ones and the wise and careful guardian of her extraordinary legacy. You've always been so kind to me. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Making a statue of the world's most loved novelist is a great privilege and responsibility, but really it's just been a pleasure to spend a lot of time looking at her. There are so many wonderful photographs of her in the family archive. As a girl, she looked dreamy and soulful, strikingly beautiful as a young woman with shrewd, kind eyes. In maturity, at once grand and reserved, but always throughout her life a beguiling air of mystery. And really this moment now is quite Agatha Christie, the unveiling of a mystery, the suspense. Is there in fact a statue at all? Or all will be revealed. But actually maybe not. Living here as anonymously as she could, this shy but most famous of women was apparently just a conventional English lady. But of course in both life and work she was anything but conventional. No one understood better than Agatha how appearances can deceive. So it would be great if this brilliant woman's presence here reminds us all to pay closer attention to the often unexpected and mysterious riches of our own and each other's imaginations. Sitting on a park bench, what might we see? What might we dream?
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, distinguished guests in Wallingford, and everybody else who's here, if there's anybody who's not distinguished, which I doubt. You may find this difficult to believe, but it was in May 1950 that I first commenced my visits to visit my grandmother, Agatha Christie, who, by the way, I called Nima for some reason that nobody seemed to understand, but that's what I called her. And I was at school not very far from here, and she was in charge of giving me lunch 3 or 4 times a term to try and make sure that I remembered what a proper family life was about. And for me, this is a glorious opportunity in public to say thank you to her for doing that, because when you're a little boy, aged 7½, you do feel pretty miserable in school. And just to get out 3 or 4 times a term and have roast chicken for Sunday lunch and Mrs. Belson's roast potatoes, which I can promise you beat everybody else's, made a lot of difference to the first 2 or 3 years of my life. That and playing cricket. But I think that for me this is, so to speak, a personal tribute, and one that perhaps commemorates the private side of my grandmother's life, living at home and spending a little bit of time with me and my mother and stepfather and her husband, and making a bit of difference to all our lives. Because I'm sure you all know, making a lot of difference to everybody's lives was what she did all the time. She didn't think very much of herself, she didn't talk about herself, but she did think about other people. She thought about the people in Wallingford, and all the people who lived in Wallingford then did a huge favour, although they probably didn't realise it, in leaving her alone to live and work and be nice to her family and her nasty little dog, who is called Bingo. And that was a part of her life which was, dare I say, almost more important than Greenway, where she went for holiday. But here she actually worked. She actually spent time with her family here. She looked after Max, her husband, who worked in Oxford for a large part of her time here. And she was very proud of us, and we of her. And I can think of no event which I could be more pleased to celebrate than this thing in the red ribbon on the left. And thank you all so much for everything you've done to make sure it happens. Ben, I have a long association with. We're all very lucky to have Ben, because not only is he a brilliant sculptor, but he's brilliant to work with. And it's not everybody in the entertainment industry who can say that. So there you are. Here we are in the blazing sun with, I'm sure, my grandmother and grandfather looking down benevolently at what we are about to do. I've been given at least 3 ways of taking the ribbon off. I will try one of them and see what happens.
underneath.
Yeah.